collectors and action figure fans, it's the one and only Off the Bottom is coming at you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Marvel Legends X-Men Age of Apocalypse Marvel's Morph. A character that was first created in the 90s, and in this version has a fairly unique look to them. For the package, much like all of them, you have that open window that fully showcases them. You can see that you also get Sugar Man's other leg around to the side of the package, and this really showcases just the type of character Morph is. He is a prankster, using his morphing ability to kind of be the court jester of sorts for the X-Men, mostly trying to keep everybody fairly relaxed. Opposite side here has that same image. You come around to the back of the package. You can see all the other figures in this wave that when you collect them all allow you to build a 8th figure, that being Sugar Man. And it says a natural mimic. Kevin Sidney transforms himself into any shape at will. A very fun character in a otherwise very serious storyline. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Alright guys, so here we have Morph opened up and out of his packaging. Now Morph, as being a member of Magneto's X-Men, has really become one of the most beloved members of the team. But his sense of humor has often irritated most of his teammates, most notably Sabretooth. When Blink began to lose confidence in her role as an X-Men, Morph changed into Sabretooth and managed to give her the assurance to teleport the team to the blue area of the moon to fight and defeat the Horseman known as Death. Later, after a reconnaissance mission by Blink and Sunfire, which I talked about in the review of Sunfire, Morph and the rest of the X-Men had learned that the human cullings had once again began by Apocalypse's son Holocaust, who was personally carrying them out. Morph joined Rogue's team of the X-Men and went to Chicago to evacuate as many humans as possible and stop Holocaust. When Wildchild was attacked by the Infinites, Morph changed into Holocaust to deceive them just long enough for Sunfire to kill him. Wildchild, unable to speak, licked Rogue in order for her to absorb his memories at the time and inform her that Sabretooth was in danger. Sneaking into that processing plant, Morph and the rest of the X-Men managed to rescue some of the prisoners and destroy the plant, preventing further things from happening. During the battle with Holocaust, Rogue was hurt and Morph changed into Rogue's son Charles, which doing that trick, Rogue as well as the rest of the team managed to defeat Holocaust and rescue Sabretooth. Now, Morph was originally a created character for the X-Men animated series, and he was kind of like that jester as well, using his shape-shifting abilities to kind of be a court jester of sorts. And I haven't done it much with a lot of my figures, but I do have the original Morph figure. You can see big size difference. So this is how he looked. The fun thing with Morph was that he actually came with some different heads. Now, if you remember, Morph actually died in that episode, or one of the first episodes, and then came back. Come to find out, he was actually a prisoner, and he basically went mad. So they give him a mad face, which that's kind of cool. But hey, let's have some more fun with some more heads. And now you can make Morph Cyclops. Yeah. Or let's make him Wolverine. And honestly, when I would play with my X-Men figures, a lot of times I would use this as like a way to have Cyclops or Wolverine look different. But this was always a fun thing. A good guy that turns bad guy because he felt like they left him behind. But there, vintage size comparison. There you go. But for the new Age of Apocalypse version, as all of them, they do come, or he does come with this Build-A-Figure piece. I want to say that his knee is stuck. I'm going to have to fight with that later on. Oh, wait, maybe. No, there we go. Again, I don't remember if it's the left or the right one. I grabbed, I think, the left one here, and you got a right one as well. So you have these legs. Like I said, I don't remember who came with who. Or is it supposed to go like that? Who knows? You get legs for him, and that's pretty much it. We're just about done with this whole series, so figure-wise we can pretty much put them together, but we're gonna wait. We're gonna save that for a special video. For Morph, I want to, in looking at this one, I'm very much reminded of that Cyclops 2-pack that came with Cyclops and a Phoenix figure, one of the various Phoenix figures. The body just kind of feels like that, and even these pieces here, I don't think I have that figure out really. It's not one of my favorite ones, but I just get that feeling. You can see he does come with a cape. It is a little bit tricky, so it can peg into his back, and it kind of stays there, but it loosely pegs in. It doesn't stay in all that well, so like the friction thing doesn't stay in there all that great. Either way, I mean, it still stays on there perfectly fine if you want to just display it like that. And I like how it's also a little bit longer, so it kind of helps balance him, because that is fairly heavy. But he still is a really cool looking figure. Now, he looks a little bit different in this than what we were used to. Like I said, I mean, that's kind of how he originally looked of sorts. See, he's got this weird, very, I don't know how to describe it, almost like a mannequin sort of look. A great detail, very simple though. It's all just white, but you can see some great detail with the black, nice silver for the eyes. Got a little swoosh thing up there in his head, little smirk on his face. Overall, it's cool. The neat thing about Marvel Legend figures is that all the heads are removable. So if you have extra heads, you can always pop this off, and this is going to look ridiculous, but hey, let's put his head on there. That's a Juggernaut. This is, I forgot his name. Someone's going to leave a comment and tell me, but you can, because they're all just ball joints. Some are a little bit easier to get in than others. All it really takes is a little bit of twisting kind of to get it on there. There we go. So, you can have that. Rah! You can do that if you really wanted to, if you didn't want to go that extreme. Here is Kurt Wagner. You can put his head on there. I don't know why that is the accent that I go to. I mean, he's German, yeah, so you could do that. I mean, although the neck is really long, although when you put that on there, no, that still looks ridiculous. You can do that. Hey, if you wanted to change things up a little bit, hey, let's put Lilandra's head on him. So you could do that. Because he's Morph, so it's kind of cool that you can do that. I guess you could probably swap out his hands too. Those just peg in there, so if you have other hands that you want to use, could do that with him. His articulation is all the exact same. Now I'm lost. There's his head. It's all the exact same. You got a ball joint right here. You got that hinge. This head fits on here a whole lot better. It doesn't leave this weird ass gap in the back, so I do like that. He has butterfly joints at the shoulders. They have that pin hinge joint in and out rotation. He's got a swivel at the bicep. He's got two bends at the elbow. I like the shading on here as well. I mean, the overall look of him is very simple. You got a very dark blue with some black shading, which does look really cool. Kind of wish that it carried on to the upper part of his thigh right there, but unfortunately it does not. So that kind of sucks, especially like right here where you can see that it comes up. I wish that at least carried over to that part of the musculature on the body. You got two joints here. You have a, oh no, that doesn't rotate, but the wrists do rotate. They also move forward and back. That one's really stiff. It does have an ab ratchet. You have a waist swivel. Hips forward, back, in and out. They rotate as well. You got two bends at the knee. Come down to the boot. You do have a boot rotation. Then you have the weird ass forward and back, and then I broke my ankle kind of thing, which oh that looks really bad. So he's a fun character, very minimal character in the series. He didn't have a huge role in it. Definitely was a secondary character, but I like that they brought him in. I like that they changed up his look fairly considerably from what we're used to seeing with him. He's overly dramatic. He's super exciting at times in terms of trying to get people's attention in sorts. So, I mean, he's fun. He's going to look good with a collection of Age of Apocalypse figures, and of course you need the leg to build Sugarman. So, one that I probably wouldn't have picked up had I not needed to get this, and because we haven't really gotten Age of Apocalypse figures before, although I think they did as like some kind of convention exclusive. I want to say they did make a figure like this, but that usually goes for expensive money, which I'm not interested in paying that for a Morph character. I mean, he's fun, but not that fun. So yeah, I mean, unless I, didn't want to expand that sort of display in my collection, I probably would have skipped on him, especially if it didn't come with this. So he's nice to have, just not a must-have in my opinion. But if you are collecting these, you are going to need them. So all that being said, if Morph is a figure that you would like to add to your collection, he will be hitting various retail locations fairly soon, or you can do the really easy thing and just go to Big Bad Toy Store. For that, I'll put a link right down in the video description where you can go to BBTS and check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of the wide range of Marvel Legend figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. Remember, if you like this video, I would really appreciate if you would do one very small thing for me. I know I ask every single time, but it actually does go a long way towards helping me out. And that's simply just to hit that thumbs up button. Doing that real quick thing helps with what YouTube calls audience engagement. And whether you give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down, it all helps. Also want to send a huge shout out to all of my patrons who, through their continued support, now more than ever help to make reviews like this possible. And if you'd like information on how you can help support my channel by becoming a patron, feel free to check out my Patreon page at patreon.com/optibotimus. And finally, remember, the real trouble with the world is that too many people grow up. Thank you for watching and taking the time to be a kid.